What's up, guys? Today we're going to be discussing multiple things in today's video. First off, the PFL just had an event, and we're going to be talking about them because they are seemingly having some issues with some of their fighters, and I just think their promotion is run pretty poorly at the moment, so I'd like to discuss them. Also, Misfits, they just had an event, and we're going to be talking about some of the fights that took place on that card. Also, Wade Plemons, who's a sports commentator for boxing and the influencer boxing scene, he is now fighting. So this is kind of random, but yeah, we're going to be discussing all this stuff. And anyways, let's get into the video. So the PFL was literally gift-wrapped the golden ticket, the golden opportunity to compete somewhat, at least, with the UFC. Now, I don't think they have quite the roster the UFC does, despite the purchase of Bellator that they got last year, but they got a really good roster nonetheless. And since then, with an opportunity like that, to expand your organization by that much and to improve your talent by like 500%, because let's be honest, I mean, we saw the PFL fighters versus Bellator fighters event. Pretty much all the Bellator fighters won. Anyways, you get all these guys, and then most of these guys aren't even fighting. I mean, you stick to the ridiculous, dumb season event that they've been doing for a while. And you know what? I don't have a problem with, seasons in sports. It's how, baseball, basketball, football works. But professional fighting is different, okay? You want to see prospects, rise through the rankings and beat contenders and work their way up to a world championship. You want to see champions, win the belt and defend against the next best guy. That's how combat sports is supposed to work. And with this season format and how the championship resets after every season, and you see, the same guys fighting each other 4 times, 4-0, because the one guy's just superior to the other. I just really don't like this format at all for combat sports. Now, if you wanted to do this as a side thing, sure, but I mean, they've put all of their focus and energy into it, seemingly, and you got guys like Patchy Mix, Corey Anderson, 2 world champions over in Bellator, well, PFL now, that are just sitting on the sidelines and, tweeting out how they're not getting fights, and it's pretty ridiculous, to be honest. I believe Gegard Mousasi, who they released, is suing them now. Because I think it was because that they weren't offering him enough money, or I'm not exactly sure what it was. But the whole season is just ridiculous, and it's literally what they have done is they have blown their best opportunity to compete in some sort with the UFC. They could be going to different cities across the United States that the UFC fails to visit, because let's be honest, the UFC is not hitting a lot of markets around the U.S. I mean, when's the last time they've been to Chicago, for example? Or when's the last time they've been to Detroit? The PFL came to Detroit. I'd love to go to that. But, yeah, it's too bad, man, because I definitely feel like they had a real shot to do something with this, and they kind of fumbled the bag. Okay, so first, with the Misfits card, we're going to talk about that. Swarms versus Pineda. Dude, honestly, I went 5-0. Let's just say that. I went 5-0 on my picks. So my first one, yes, I did go with Pineda, and he pretty much just throws long, straight punches, and Swarms can't really box at all. He has literally no attack. He'll jump in and throw a big hook that he swings and whiffs at most of the time. So, yeah, if he wants to still win a fight, he's going to have to fight somebody else who's also terrible. Pineda, I don't even know what you do from here, but that was an easy prediction. Next on the card, the next fight that I made a pick for, that was Jarvis versus Ben Williams. And you know what? It was a good fight. It went the way that I thought it was going to. Ben Williams was switched on early, and he was all over Jarvis, throwing a lot of volume and a lot of power early. But Jarvis is, even though he's been boxing for less time than Ben Williams, it seems like he's a much more seasoned boxer because he was taking his time, just pressuring, and you could see Williams was breaking. Although Ben did win the first 2 rounds, he fell and he hurt himself pretty bad, and the fight was called off after that. But you could just see he was fading. I don't want to say he quit, but I mean, it kind of looked like he did. So, yeah, Jarvis with a big win. Also, we had Deji returning against a guy I never heard of called DeWood Savage, I think. But yeah, that guy is just terrible at boxing. He was just running around like an idiot the whole time, swinging and clinching, and Deji literally couldn't hit him with anything until his coach decided to give him a little motivational speech, and then Deji just clocked him and put him out. And that was embarrassing. Like, let's be honest. If you have any skill whatsoever and grit, you're going to beat Deji. So, yeah, that is my assessment on that fight. Moving on, after that, what we had, HS TikTok was supposed to fight, which he's fighting Wade Plemons now. That's the announcement that they made. We'll talk about that in a second. But the co-main event, Salt Poppy versus King Kenny, I predicted either a Salt Poppy UD win or Salt Poppy late knockout. It happened a little bit earlier than I thought. And here's the thing. It was a southpaw versus orthodox fight, which means Kenny's not going to have a clear path to get his jab off because their lead hands are going to be mirroring each other. So, yeah, and Poppy's got that firing piston backhand, and, yeah, he freaking landed it. Kenny comes in pretty sloppy, leaves his backhand down. Poppy, I believe he slid in like a shovel hook kind of uppercut, and, yeah, he puts Kenny out, and good win from Salt Poppy. I'd love to see him continue this momentum and not really wait too long, get right back in there. So, good stuff from Salt Poppy. In the main event, we had Anisan Gibb versus Slim. Slim looked good early. I'll be honest, he did look good early, but I did predict that Gibber would get it done, and Gibber did get it done. Yeah, Slim is tough, man. He was, able to go the whole distance, but Gibb has ridiculous cardio and pressure, and he just kept coming after him round after round. Slim had the first two, but after the first 2 rounds, it went pretty downhill pretty quickly. So, yeah, good stuff from Gibber. I remember back in 2020, I saw Jake Paul's first boxing fight against Gibb, and man, has he made a lot of improvements since then. He's a completely different fighter. But I thought Jake did look really good in that fight, and I started going down the rabbit hole of YouTube and boxing and stuff like that, and one of the guys that I found was Wade Plemons, and I started watching his channel, and since then, I've been, subscribed and, watching pretty much most of his videos that he puts out. He's a really great content creator, but I've always known him as a commentator. So this flip from commentator to now guy who's competing on Misfits, it's kind of, a lot for me to wrap my brain around. But yes, I do remember him in one of his videos saying he did some like Muay Thai smokers before, which is good that he's had some experience in some training. But I don't know. I'm a bit worried for him in this because the guy he's fighting does have power, and being having not competed in a long time, that does present the opportunity for you to get caught by shots, and I don't know if Wade's going to be ready for that, but I hope he is. And if he's picking up the sport and he's slick with his hands, there is a lot of openings on HS Tiki-Taki because that guy is not, I don't get the hype behind this guy. He's not good at boxing. He hits hard and he's athletic, but like his skills, like he knocked that one dude out. He left his right hand just at his waist. I mean, the guy is going to get chinned if he fights anybody good. And this KSI saying, oh, give him a year of training, you'll beat Jake Paul. Shut up, dude. Shut up. KSI yaps a lot. By the way, he yapped during the entire Gibb versus Slim fight, and it honestly kind of ruined the fight because he's like, oh, Slim's dominating, and Slim's getting his face punched, and it was so stupid. Anyways, guys, that is all for today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out some more content, so you're going to want to tune in for that, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.